Hi there, it's a new week, which means that we have another color on the schedule. Just for some insight, I'm doing a mini series where I do colorful everyday looks. Basically, I take colors and turn them into wearable everyday looks, and weekly I have a challenge going on. Basically, I want to inspire you to step away from your comfort zone and use colors in your everyday makeup. So this week's color is plum. I'm going to try and do a wearable plum look, and I also want to see your plum looks. So if you do wear plum this week, make sure to tag me on Instagram or send me a selfie because I would love to see. That being said, let's get into it. Obviously my brows are done. I'm going to start with my eyelids. Just going to apply a tiny dot of concealer on each of my lids. I'm doing this because my eyeshadow primer is sheer and I do want a little bit of coverage on my lids. I know there are eyeshadow primers that have coverage, but at the moment I don't own one, and I'm not going to buy one until I finish my current eyeshadow primer, which is the Primer Potion by Urban Decay. I have the original one. They do have a version with coverage. I don't have it. I'm just going to use this one and apply it on my lid, and again I'm going to use my finger to blend it in. It's 7:30 AM. I'm filming this before work. I will have to get used to waking up a little bit earlier to film. I know it's not that early, but I'm just not used to waking up early anymore. And by that I just mean I used to wake up at about 8 or 9 AM. I wasn't waking up that late, but nowadays I do need those extra hours in the morning to film. I grabbed a bunch of palettes for inspiration. I'm gonna start with the Norvina Volume 5, and I will pick this shade to be my transition for today. This looks really neutral in the pan, but on the eyes it has that kind of like a purple tint. Let me just show you. This is Juvia's Play 006 brush. I'm just going to start from my outer corner and blending inwards. I'm taking it up into my crease and I'm just blending kind of like halfway inwards. So I'm not bringing it all the way to my inner corner. I do usually like my inner corner to stay a little bit lighter. I will just use kind of like whatever is left on the brush, so it creates kind of like a cohesive look. And as you can see, this has a purple tint. I also did an everyday purple look, kind of like a soft purple. And I use this shade. I'm going to link that video on the screen somewhere just in case you are curious. But make sure you watch it after this one though. Next I'm going to take the Berries palette from Juvia's Place, and I will mix these two shades because this is too pink and this is too purple. And I kind of need something in between. I feel like, to me, plum is just like a reddish toned purple. So that's the color that I'm trying to create. I'm going to start from my outer corner. Again, I'm going to use this shade to kind of intensify my outer corner. I do like a little bit of an extended eyeshadow shape, but you can place this however you like according to your eye shape. You can place this all over the lid if you're looking for a soft smoky eye, or you can do like a halo eye, whatever works for you. But this kind of placement, it is usually flattering on like all eye shapes. I'm not really happy with this. I think it's a little bit too purple and not plum enough. Let me just blend that, and I'll probably reach for another palette or something. It's actually very interesting to me how I have so many palettes, but there are no plum shades in sight. I will try something else. I will line my eyes with this Urban Decay Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Alkaline. I will start from my outer corner. Wow, this is purple too. No, I think this is more plum. I'm going to keep the line very thin in my inner corner and make it a little bit thicker in my outer corner. And I will pick my pencil brush, the Morphe M1 149. The number started to fade and I hope I won't forget it. And I will basically smudge this. I did something on this side and I think I managed to get a plum shade. Basically what I did is I took a red, this one from the Saharan II by Juvia's Place, because when it mixes with the purple that I already have on my lids, it's going to turn it into a plum shade. I even forgot to mention I'm doing plum because I got a comment from one of you mentioning that they use plum for their everyday makeup, and I actually thought that's fantastic, kind of like a vampy everyday makeup, and I wanted to create that as well. So I would like to hear if you have a non-neutral shade that you use for your everyday makeup, because this challenge is getting really interesting. I'll pick my previous brush and just blend this. I hope this is okay. It's kind of like an improvised berry, but I feel like I kind of got in there. I think this is not as soft as my other looks. I went a little bit overboard with the depth of my shades. I don't think it's not wearable, but it is a little bit more intense than my other ones. I'm gonna keep this look matte. I'm just going to bring some light back on my lids by using a matte cream shade. This is the Naked Heat palette, but you can obviously use whatever, because like a lot of palettes have shades like this. I'm just going to mix in a little bit of both of the first shades of the palette, and I'm just going to place this on my lid where I did not apply any eyeshadow. We think the first shade has a little bit of sheen in it, like it's nothing too noticeable, and if you need to you can take the fluffy brush and blend a little bit. I will also pick the shade Sauced here. I just don't like that this is looking purple. I mean, not that I don't like it, because I obviously like purple, but I want it plum. So I'm just trying to tone down the purpleness, I think. I'm applying a custom-made BB cream. If you want to see how I did it, I filmed another video, so you might want to stay subscribed, because I'm going to upload it a little bit later this week. I think I applied a little bit too much though. Next I will do a little bit of cream bronzing with my Natasha Denona Face Glow foundation. It's in the shade 45. I'm using a Real Techniques Expert face brush, and I'm just going to apply this. I have a brain freeze underneath my cheekbone. Also dragging it down my jawline, a little bit underneath my nose, and obviously my forehead, because it's huge. And I will try connecting the eyeshadow with the bronzer contour situation, and I will take my sponge and blend the edges of the contour slash bronzer so it looks a little bit more melted into my skin. I need to conceal the dark circles because I actually look sick. Reddish shadow can do that a little bit, but when the makeup is going to be done, you're going to see that it looks actually amazing. But for me especially, I do have to be a little bit careful about my base. I do need a clean complexion in order for this to look good. Oh wait, I actually have to let it dry for a little bit because it's the Fit Me concealer. It can be a little bit on the thinner side. I like the dried out version a little bit more, just because it provides a little bit more coverage. Okay, I just let this dry for a minute or two, and now I can start blending it. It's pretty tricky for me to blend my inner corner because of my deep set eyes, but I'm trying my best. And I do have to apply concealer there because I have kind of like a discoloration spot there. Okay, let's set the under eyes. I'm going to use my RCMA No Color powder, and I'm setting with the sponge because that's what I usually do. Make sure there are no creases before I set, and I will press the powder into my skin and also press it into my pores area. This blurs and brightens. I've really been loving this technique lately. I'm gonna apply a pink blush to create kind of like a monochromatic vibe, and I will mix these two shades from the blush cheek palette from Sigma Beauty. I'm going to apply it a little bit above the cream bronzer. As highlighter, I'm using my beloved e.l.f. Baked Highlighter in Moonlight Pearls. Just going to apply it on my cheekbone here, a little bit on the tip of my nose, my chin, in between my brows here, and a little bit above my brows. For my inner corner, I think I'm going to use my Amethyst Obsessions by Huda Beauty and pick up this shade. Just going to pop it here. It's kind of like it has a pink shift. And I'm gonna need a clean fluffy brush to really buff these edges. And I want a little something on my lower lash line. I think I'm just going to use whatever is left on this pencil brush. It's that reddish eyeshadow, and I'm going to blend it obviously with my Morphe 506. It's the one that I used on my upper lid. This look is really upsetting me, and I hate the lower lash line. I don't know what I did wrong that I ended up with pinkish purple instead of plum. And I don't know how to erase this lower lash line. What if I try to press in a little bit more powder? At least attempt to fade it a little bit. What is plum though? I tried to make it like reddish purple, but instead it's pinkish purple. I'll be applying my Catrice for Volume Waterproof. I mean, I guess I wasn't disappointed by a look in a long time, so it's not that I don't like it, but it's not what I imagined. Okay, I'm trying one more thing. I'm going to pick up the James Charles palette and pick this. It's kind of like a reddish brown. This is a Morphe 506, but it's a new brush. I don't want any of the older shades on this one. So I'm just going to attempt to switch up the shades a little bit. Maybe tone down a little bit of that pink. I think that's a little bit better, but the problem is that it's not really everyday appropriate at this point. I mean, not for a lot of people. I'm gonna turn on my laptop and my camera and be at work today. So for me it's pretty wearable, but I know that it's not an objectively wearable look, let's say. Okay, let's do the lips and finish this up. Oh, this is a NYX Nude Beige lip pencil. But the brown kind of toned down a little bit of that pink. I think that's a little bit better. And I'm gonna use this ABH Kiss lipstick. This is a pretty old one. I think they even discontinued this range and released some new lipsticks. Okay, this is the look. I'm sorry if it's not completely plum, but I feel like I've gotten to a point where I'm pretty satisfied. I wish it was a little bit more wearable though. Maybe if I didn't lay 5 palettes on top of each other, it would have been a little bit more wearable. But this is what we're working with today, and I really hope you enjoyed the look nonetheless. I struggled a little bit, but I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do use plum, let me know what palettes you use. I'm really curious to hear. That's it for me today. I'm going to head to work. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope I'll see you in my next video. Bye!